welcome to Always Tipping, guys. It's with a heavy heart that we put this video out. We were torn, honestly, on whether to put content out on a video game with literally America on fire. A lot of racial injustice out there. It's impossible to deny at this point.
Yeah.
Even a young black man was killed in our city 2 days ago, and the guy is not charged.
Yeah.
I'm baffled.
That's the world we live in today, and I mean, through it all, we still want to provide you with good content while still using our platform to send a message out on where we stand.
So that's why we have the "We Can't Breathe" behind us, or "I Can't Breathe." So, you know, I consulted Darius. I said, "Do you still want to do something out?" He's biracial. I don't know if you guys know. So I wanted to be sensitive to what he wanted to do. And it's not fair not to do it, and that's what we started a channel for, so we're going to keep it going. So with that being said, stay safe out there and take care of your community, and your community is everybody. So hopefully everybody's safe out there. But this is our second episode of Out the Box, and we're going to revisit balls. You cannot play this game without balls. I mean, it goes without saying.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and revisit it and break it down for you guys, and then we're going to implement it with our out-the-box first episode with the progression read. So hopefully it's a good video for you guys and you like it, and maybe we touch on some things that you haven't really thought about, and we'll catch up with you after. Yeah. Balls coming at ya. That's scary. So we're going to basically the first part, we're going to just go over what balls is. Like I said, we changed it from what it was in our earlier videos. We altered it a little bit. So B is box. You're going to look at the defense. So he's got 4 guys with his hand in the dirt, 2 linebackers there. We want to point out to you guys that you don't need to you don't need to determine whether it's a 4-3, big nickel, 3-4, 4-4 split, 4-6, all that jazz. You don't really need to do that. All you need to know is those 4 guys up front are designated as linemen. They got their hands in the dirt. They're coming. So more than likely. The 2 guys behind the line are linebackers. Look at their hands and look at their posture. They're crouched a little bit, and their hands are directly over their knees. The guy right over Kittle, the cat right over Kittle, his hands are slightly to the inside of his legs. He doesn't have quite the same posture as a corner, but he is a defensive back. The only reason you need to know that, guys, is if I throw into the flat to the right, he will jump to pick it off. Yeah, the linebackers don't jump this year, except for a select few. Like, I don't know if Wagner even does.
I think he does.
Kuechly does, I think.
Deion Jones.
So there's some that jump, but not to the degree they have in the past. Right. So you need to know that if you throw to the right, he will jump and pick that off. You're not going to get it over his head. That's about the extent of the box. We are a little bit more unconventional. We go all the way to the corners, anything under the safety. So, but basically, we look at posture, and then we look at who might blitz. There's 4 guys to the right of the center. There's 3 guys to the left of the center. If we really wanted to change the play, which we'll go over later down the balls scale, we'd go to the left. But what we're saying is there might be some pressure coming from the right. That's a defensive back as well. That's basically what you need to know with box. Now, what we do, the next letter is A, adjustments. I usually let them make their adjustments first. I'm basically just taking about 5 seconds off the play clock just to watch what they're doing, because then I adjust based off them. So let's say do all your adjustments, whatever adjustments you would normally do. It's better to have him do that now. That gives me an idea, okay, he's changed some things around. But what I do while he's doing that is I can motion him out. This most likely to me is a cover 2, and I'll show you why. If I motion him back, if you watch the corner there, I'm going to get a wide view. All he does is follow Sanders out. He doesn't change his depth. You see that? So he stays 5 yards back. Now, if he would have got a little bit of depth or even pressed him, he could most likely be man. And if he gains some depth, it might be a cover 3. Again, that's not gospel, but at the same time, it just gives me an idea of what I'm working with. So that being said, we make our adjustments after he's made his. Because then when we start doing adjustments, he's going to have to make adjustments based on what we did. So you're keeping him on his toes. there's no point in adjusting to a shell coverage when he's going to make his changes anyway, and you may have adjusted right into his adjustments,
Right.
if that makes sense. So then the next A is audible. I could audible to a run to the left. I could do this PA power. But what I want to do is I want to run away from the meat of his play if I did want to run. I don't, because he's using Wagner. He's right over there. I feel better passing, so I'm going to leave it as a pass. So audible can be fairly quick. And then H is hot routes. So based on the fact that it's a cover 2, I could do the Ohio concept to the right. I could put Sanders in a fade and Kittle on an out route. And then my R1 running back, I could leave him in the block or do something like that. That will work against a cover 2 all the time, because a cloud flat has to go back and cover that the streak from Sanders. But if he hard flatted, Kittle would get caught. So not everything is 100%, but what I'm telling you is from the first couple adjustments, you can see what he's going to do and make your hot routes based on that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I'm going to reset my play. There's my play art. I'm going to slant Kittle, and I'm going to put Breida on an out route. So there's my progression reads: Breida, Kittle, and Sanders. I feel comfortable with that based on what he's showing me. Okay, so if you're done with all your hot routes, the next thing you do is your line adjustments. Now, it's very important that you guys see this. He has a 4-man front. So this is a big nickel.
Yeah, it is.
So because of that D-back over Kittle, that's a nickel. So that this isn't a 4-3. It's a big nickel just from the posture. So one of the things people do this year is they shift their line to the right, and they double team. They double team this cat, Clowney. Now, with a 4-man front, that'll be fine, because Staley and number 75 will take Clowney. The center will take the defensive tackle to the left of him. 68 will take that defensive tackle, and 69 will take that defensive end. Now, a 3-man front, it screws up the center completely. You do not want to do this adjustment with no running back blocking and a 3-man front defensively, because that defensive tackle over the center will come screaming in, because he'll take the defensive tackle to the right, if that makes sense. So you don't want to do that unless you have a back blocking, and we'll show you that later in the video. But for right now, I can leave it like it is. I'll slant it to the right, and then I'll double team Clowney, which is a good idea anyway, because he's a superstar. So that being said, that's our line adjustments. I would adjust every single time, guys, whether it be just a simple ID the mic, something to keep your opponent thinking that you're going to pass or that you're rolling a certain way, whatever the case may be, just to give you a little bit extra time. Now, the first S is snap the ball. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then the second S is security. So we changed that from safety before. Before we had it as a safety. You wanted to watch the safeties drop. I really don't do that anymore. I watch the first 2 seconds. I watch to see how my pass protection is holding up. And if I have a delay route, like I can, with this particular split close, I can send Mostert out, if you notice, and then his hot routes now become tight end hot routes. So I can delay fade him. So I'll leave that like that this time, and I'll generally count to 2 seconds, and then I'll release him. That way he puts up a little bit of a block, and that gives me time for my routes to develop.
Right, yeah.
So then I'll keep counting to 5. If you guys cannot find a receiver by 5, look to scramble or throw the ball away. It's that simple. So that's why balls is implemented to help you. It's B.A.A.H.L.S.S. And I'll go ahead and hike the ball and show you what I'm talking about. So there's my routes, and I'm going to leave Mostert in. I'm going to count. Okay, so 1 1,000, 2 1,000. I release him. Okay, I could hit him or I could hit him. So if you notice, I looked at my reads. Wagner had to go cover Kittle, the slant. So that's just one example. We're going to show you multiple examples here in a second. Okay, guys, here we go. I'm just going to run this continuous double ends play, and I'll make my adjustments based on whatever I see. He's just going to do a random defense, random play. Now, he's at a slight disadvantage because he doesn't know what it is.
so he can't really make too many adjustments, and that might make too long of a video. But we're basically just going to show you how balls works, and he's going to use her the best he can. I mean, I'm not perfect. I might make some mistakes and stuff, but it just gives you a better outlook. So he's got 4 guys with their hands in the dirt. The outside guys are 4 in a 4-point stance. They're definitely coming in my eyes. The guy over Kittle is a defensive back, and then Wright and obviously Wagner is a linebacker. The corners are 5 yards off, and we're going to see. So that's basically the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys might be coming. Those corners are close enough that they could possibly blitz in as well, and the safeties could roll down and cover those routes. So it's just something to give you an idea of. So adjustments. Let's say he made all his. So mine are based on I'm going to motion Sanders out and see the corner stayed at 5 yards depth. So I'm going to think it's a cover 2. I'm not going to audible to a run just because it's a fairly symmetrical formation. I don't really see an advantage either way, especially since he's using on the left. You won't know that playing somebody online, but let's say he gave a tell that you can see who he's using. So what I want to do is I'm going to do one of my plays that I constantly do. I'm going to do the same hot routes for the whole video just so you can see what I'm talking about. So that's what we're doing. Those are our hot routes, our line adjustments. It's going to be real tough to double team those outside guys. It's going to leave huge holes on the inside. So what I might want to do is just slide to the left at the very least. I'm not going to double team Clowney, but knowing that they have outside leverage, I'm really going to look to hit B.A.A.H.L.S.S right away. So I'm going to go ahead and S is snap the ball, and I'm going to go ahead and count every time. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. You know, I honestly saw Kittle running into coverage. B.A.A.H.L.S, his user came down on B.A.A.H.L.S. And that's the thing too, is he knows what my progressions are going to be.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for him to play dummy. So, but just bear with us. So if you look at this is a very unusual formation, and that's why you don't get caught up in, what is this? You've only got 2 guys with their hands in the dirt. So it's a dime, or it could be a nickel 2-4-5. It could be, it doesn't matter. So you're looking at the guys that are showing pressure on the inside. You can't tell if they're linebackers or defensive backs. They're linebackers, but I'm saying you can't tell that if they're in that rush posture. Same with the 2 guys over Kittle. You can't really see what's going on. There's the nickel that's 5 yards back. So in the box, we sense a lot of pressure is coming. What I could do is go ahead and audible to a fullback run, which is going right over there. And that's where you don't have to use all of the balls, guys. Right there, we're good with A, and I audibled. So I'm going to run it. He fought that off. I could have gone to the outside.
KJ Wright.
That's insane.
Amazing.
So I could have taken it to the outside. I didn't. But not every play is a golden tickets. Okay, so here, guys, we have a different 4-man front with some outside pressure on the left. So there's 5 guys on the line, 2 linebackers, and then there's a defensive back over Kittle. Again, don't get caught up in what formation it is. It doesn't matter. Could be a 4-3. The safety is down. That's one of the safeties that's over Kittle. Cover 3. So what we want to do is the corners are 5 yards off. He made all his adjustments. We're just assuming that he does that. So I'm going to say adjustments. He did his, so we're going to do ours. I'm going to motion Goodwin out. See how he presses? That could either be a cover 2 press or a man cover. I'm thinking it's man coverage. Now, what we want to show you is this year it's super goofy if you motion across the formation. So watch his. Okay, it's not. I'm not thinking it's man.
Oh, no, it's not.
No.
They would have followed him across.
They would have followed him all the way across. But look when I do this all the way back. Look, it totally screws up their alignment. Look how deep that corner goes. So when you motion across the line of scrimmage, unless you're looking for those glitch one-play touchdowns, I don't normally do that because I'm not trying to glitch the defense. I'm not trying to screw up their coverage. I want to actually see what he's picking and pick it apart. That's just me. So honestly, I could motion Sanders out and I'll hit him on a quick out.
Wow.
Because there's nobody covering him. Now, a seasoned guy is going to base a line or something to get his guys more lined up.
Right, yeah.
So that's my only hot route. At that point, I want to quick snap and get it out there. You know, because there's nobody out there. So that's what we're talking about. Okay? Okay, guys, so this is what we're talking about real quick. So we have 3 down linemen. This is a 3-4 odd. So you have 2 linebackers on either side, or 1 on either side. The pressure could be coming either way. But let's say I want to roll to the left. So I do what everybody tells you online to do, is slide to the right, and then I double team this cat. Now, even if I leave my running back into Mike, or ID the Mike, now I only have 3 routes going out, because if I max protect. I don't particularly like doing that. So in this particular scenario, the running back's still going out. So what I did was slide to the left, or to the right, and then man him up. So watch see, somebody comes through. It's not going to work. So if you're getting frustrated by that, just don't do that. So if I simply, I can't even say it. Simply.
Wow.
If I simply slide to the left, so now the same thing will happen. I mean, now I will have more time to roll. See, unless there's a clowny on the edge, and if that's the case, don't roll to that side. It's that simple. But I'll show you again. If I with 3-man down, show your play art real quick. So that cat on the left is the one rushing in. The one on the right's in a vert hook. There's no way of knowing that. But what you can do is, as you play it more, you can tell Griffin's in a vert hook and the cat on the right's in a vert hook, because of responsibility wise, and that's part of box. But anyway, so I'll slide to the right and double team him. See how look at that, he just comes through screaming through.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead to a lot of frustrations if you guys use that. So I've never seen anybody online say it doesn't work against a 3-man front, but we're saying it doesn't work against a 3-man front. Now, if we slide to the right and double team him, now we leave our running back in to block, and we ID the Mike. He has to rotate over and block somebody, and yeah, it'll work a little bit better. But I don't know what was going on there. So it will work, but again, I don't like leaving the running back in, especially when we run split close.
Right.
I like having the 2 running backs run out. So if a 3-man front, just basically slide to the left if that's where you want to roll. And as long as it's not, a superstar, if Clowney's not on that side, look, I hiked the ball. I should have at least a decent enough time to throw the ball or to roll out. So that's what we wanted to point out to you guys. Hopefully that helps.
Closing thoughts. One last time to talk some trash before we are done with this show. Closing thoughts. We gonna run a mouse before you guys decide you're gonna click off.
Closing thoughts. Well, that's balls, guys. So remember, you don't have to use all the balls, the whole acronym every time.
I guess.
Sometimes just B&A is all you need. B.A.H. sometimes. So, but it's to help you get in the order of operation. I was in the Marine Corps, and everything you do, there's an order of operations, and it makes everything just click. So this maybe will help you click. I mean, I do it. Right when I get out of the huddle, I'm like, box. I'm looking and just, I'm not overly concerned with what formation it is. I don't care. It's what I'm going to do, and if there's a bunch of pressure coming, what side I'm going to attack, east, west. Maybe that's what we'll touch on next, is center, east, center, west. We did that. Those were one of our earliest videos. Yeah. We can implement it in out the box. So Darius and I are dedicated and to continue bringing you guys content, whatever is going on. But just know that we're with you, and it's hard. The black community is in a lot of pain right now. They're very frustrated. They're not being heard, but we hear you. So we support you and all that, and hope everything works out for everybody, that everybody can coexist again and
Yeah.
with and better than it has been, clearly, because it's not been good.
There's a lot of change that needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Everything gets back to normal.
So, thanks for watching. Tell your friends, tell your loved ones. Butcher, baker, candle maker. Who else could they tell? Your parole officer.
Yeah.
I mean, if whatever. your babysitter.
Yeah.
However old you are, whatever.
Tell your kids.
Tell your kids. Click them onto us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're good guys. We're role models.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we love you, and take care, and keep watching, keep liking, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, and remember, we always tipping, never tricking.
Hey. How about a hug?